Day 5 of our Cold War. I ran into my broke boyfriend, sitting squarely at the center of a rich kid crowd. What is it? Playing a billionaire from the slums. Has gotten addictive, huh? The marriage alliance between the Rong and NGÜ families will be on the agenda soon, right? And you still have not broken up. I am looking for an excuse. Perfect. You guys can help me come up with one. That was when I learned that my broke boyfriend was the famed heir to the Rong group. I decided to give this relationship a dignified ending. So, when Rongzi spoke with a troubled look, my father fell at the construction site. I do not want to waste any more of your time. I replied calmly. Fine. I agree to break up. After sending Rongzi a long message to make up, I pushed open the door to the next private room. But unexpectedly, I saw a familiar face inside, the recipient of my long message. At that moment, he lounged lazily against the sofa, radiating the effortless nobility he had been born with. And around him sat a whole group of genuine rich heirs. That is hilarious. Any one of his accessories has a better finish than that watch. Is that not obvious? When has young Master Rong ever received such an ordinary gift? After a brief daze, I hurriedly lowered my head. Then I realized I was wearing a mask. Glancing over from the corner of my eye, the watch they were talking about was the work gift I gave Rongzi last month. It had cost me 3 full months of salary, which was why I had taken a part-time job at this club. At the center of the sofa, Rongzi took a leisurely sip of red wine. It is the thought that counts. What the hell do you know? Ha. Playing a billionaire from the slums has gotten addictive, huh? The moment you graduate, the marriage alliance between the Rong and NGÜ families will have to be put on the agenda, right? And you still have not broken up. Rongzi thought for a moment and shrugged. I am looking for an excuse. Perfect. You guys can help me come up with a reason. You really plan to break up? Why so suddenly? You never mentioned it a few days ago. Yinuo asked me to go back to Heir with her. Rongzi drained his glass in one gulp. Oh, back to Heir. Is she taking you home to meet her family? Yeah. No wonder. I clenched my hands. A few days ago, my aunt called me and asked me to return to Heir. I knew what my aunt wanted to tell me, so I asked Rongzi if he could go back with me. His expression turned strange. He neither agreed nor refused. After that, we argued over something trivial. He got a phone call and left. He had not come home since. So that was it. That was why he had been giving me the silent treatment. That little girl wants to take you home to meet her family. She is dreaming. I had seen this woman before. One day last month, I got off work early. Rongzi came to pick me up on his electric scooter outside the low-rent complex we lived in. She sat in a flashy convertible, drawing every eye around her. Rongzi introduced her as the younger sister of one of his roommates. I thought she had business with Rongzi. After greeting her, I left them alone. I left the two of them standing there. But, before I had gone far, I heard her faintly mocking voice. You really are something. You can actually live in a stinking place like this. I glanced back. It struck me that she and Rongzi seemed quite close. Say what you will about Liang Yinuo, but she is truly beautiful. That innocent yet alluring first love face. Rongzi, can you really let her go? If she were not beautiful, would young Master Rong choose not to live at Rongyuan, to live with her in the slums for a year? What are you thinking? True enough. Have none of you ever seen a woman before? Yes, of course. Our Miss Su is the prettiest. What does Liang Yinuo have? Her figure is only a little better than yours. She is slim and long-limbed. So, what if she is pretty? She only knows how to fawn over people. Enough? What? Am I wrong? Even if you stop me, I will say it. A decent girl would not move in with a man without any commitment or status. She only wants to use this relationship to climb the ladder. Do not get tangled up with her. Do not worry. I have never accepted children born out of wedlock. Only my wife will bear my children. No one else ever will. Liang Yinuo is no exception. Rongzi's icy voice reached my ears. I looked at his cold, stern features, feeling dazed. Once, my period was late. What if I am pregnant? What are you worried about? If you are pregnant, we will have the baby, Rongzi said without hesitation. We laughed and played around on the sofa, talking about what our child would look like. Would it be a boy or a girl? Would it take after its father or mother? Then, we started kissing. At that moment, I had no doubt that I would one day be with the man before me, marry him, and have children, and live a happy and ordinary life together. But, only a few months later, that same man, with that icy voice, was ringing in my ears. At 10 that night, I finished work at the club. To my surprise, Rong was already home waiting for me. He had changed back into the t-shirts I bought him on some discount shopping app. 3 for 100 yuan. Why are you home so late? Rong came closer and wrapped me in an affectionate embrace, as if nothing had happened between us. But I knew he was extremely proud and prickly. If not for the message I sent tonight to make up with him, he would not have come back so soon. His familiar scent surrounded me. He must have showered. There was not a trace of alcohol on him. I paused. Rong froze for a moment, then released me, his dark brows and eyes fixed intently on me. What is wrong? You do not seem very happy. We had known each other for 2 years, and lived together for nearly 1. We knew each other inside and out. With just that brief exchange, he had already sensed my low spirits. It is nothing. I am just a little tired. I will run you a bath. When I came out after my bath, Rong leaned in to kiss me. Maybe it was because he was young. He was always so eager, never seeming to tire of it. I thought of what his close friend had said. If she were not beautiful, would young Master Rong choose not to live at Rongyuan, to live with her in the slums for a year? On my way home, I looked it up online. The Rong family's ancestral residence stood in Haiqin's prime downtown district. It cost over 400,000 yuan per square meter. So it turned out, my boyfriend, whose daily allowance never exceeded 50 yuan, was actually the heir to the Rong group. For over a year, how had he lived in this place, with rent under 500 yuan a month? So cramped and stiflingly hot. Was it really because of me? Did he simply not want to let me go? What are you thinking about, big sister? My distraction quickly drew someone's protest. Rongzi was 2 months younger than me. Baby's eating, big sister. Be gentle. Go easy on me, big sister. Normally, I would have enjoyed hearing that. But today, I was not in the mood. I do not feel well. I feel dizzy. I will take you to the hospital. No need. Be good. I just bought you a gift for starting your job. And I paid the rent yesterday. I have no money left. He had joined a large company, and I did not want him to look shabby at work. So I bought him a whole new work wardrobe. Suits, shirts, dress shoes, and a watch. Rong looked at me and sighed softly. Do not worry. I have money. Where did you get money? He had only recently graduated, and his internship had not paid much either. I managed all our money. I gave him 50 yuan a day for spending money. Every cent he had. I knew where it came from, and where it went. There was no way he could explain it to me. I borrowed it from a friend, out of the blue. Why borrow money from a friend? I looked at him, and deliberately looked a little upset. There will be plenty of expenses in the future. Buying a home, getting married, having children. Which of those does not cost money? Do not spend so recklessly. Rongzi's expression shifted slightly. Impatience flickered in his eyes. Did you call me back, big sister? Just to say this? Of course not. I wanted to tell you. I have already bought our tickets back to Heqiang for the day after tomorrow. I bought one for you too. 7 in the morning. Since you are not feeling well, sleep here by yourself. I will sleep in the next room tonight. I will sleep in the next room tonight. I sighed and lay back down, though I was certain Rongzi liked me to some extent. That little affection was nowhere near enough for him to marry me and have children with me. If that was the case, we should stop wasting each other's time. Friday morning, I methodically packed for our trip back to Heqiang. Rongzi watched coldly from the side. After I had packed both our things, I was about to ask him to get a cab downstairs, when Rongzi finally stopped me. Yinuo, I have something to tell you. I never expected. The plan his buddies came up with was that his father had fallen at a construction site. He did not want to waste any more of my time. It was an unbelievably flimsy excuse. So, when Rongzi spoke to me, his expression and tone were awkward to the extreme. What a dutiful son, dragging his father into it. I am sorry. This decision has been painful for me too. This is all my family can offer. I do not want to hold you back any longer. I agree. Rongzi stopped short. He suddenly looked up, staring at me in disbelief. What did you say? I had thought so too. We are not well suited for each other. You are not wrong. Neither am I. The only problem is that we are both too poor. We cannot give each other a better life. We should let each other go. Each of us can find someone wealthy. You are good looking, after all. And so am I. Afterward, we can each marry someone richer. That should not be difficult. Perhaps I agreed too quickly. I neither burst into tears, nor begged him not to leave me. Rong's face darkened. Liang Yinuo, is that truly how you feel? Of course. By this point, I intended to give this relationship a dignified ending. Though he had concealed his identity from me, we had been happy together for the past 2 years. There was no need for an ugly fallout. An eerie silence filled the air. If that is how it is, then as you wish. This afternoon, I will move out. All right. I opened the suitcase and took out the clothes of his I had just packed. Then I remembered something. Oh, right? The wages you left with me before. I will total them up in a moment and transfer them to you on WeChat. He glared at me without blinking, his gaze sharper than before. No need. Consider it compensation from me. Is your father not in the hospital? Your family needs money right now. I should still transfer it to you. Rong's expression froze. For a long moment, he could not speak. My phone buzzed. The ride-share I had booked had arrived. As I headed out, an exasperated voice came from behind me. Liang Yinuo, you had better not regret this. What a thing to say. Whether I would regret it or not. Was he not the one who wanted to break up with me? I had a rough idea why my aunt wanted me back in Hechang. My aunt had repeatedly called, asking me to come home. So I guessed it probably had something to do with my cousin. Sure enough, my aunt began probing. Xiaonuo, did you not say you had a boyfriend? Why did you not bring him this time? We broke up. We were not compatible, I suppose. I casually made up an excuse. My aunt offered me a few comforting words, then cleared her throat softly. I had not intended to bring this up, but since you have broken up with your boyfriend, there is no harm in mentioning it now. You are grown up now, anyway, just as I expected. My aunt wanted to set me up on a blind date. At first, I assumed she wanted me to meet my cousin's former fiancé. Perhaps she hoped to salvage the marriage alliance between the two families. But to my surprise, this time, my blind date was the young master of the Lu group. I was quite surprised. I had not expected my uncle's business to have grown so large that he could secure a marriage alliance with the Lu family. But would he even be interested in me? After all, I was not my aunt's biological daughter. Then, my aunt hesitated for a moment and added a few more details. At last, I understood the situation. It turned out, the Lu family's young master had been in a car accident last year. His life had been saved, but his legs had been badly injured. He still had to use a wheelchair. Though the Lus were a top-tier wealthy family, the young heir's legs were disabled after all. No matter how badly other families wanted to curry favor with the Lus, they could not send their own daughters into a living nightmare. Of course, I am only asking what you think. If you do not want to, we can forget it. I just think this might be an opportunity. Perhaps outsiders who heard this would think my aunt was blinded by greed, trying to send her own niece into the fire. But I knew she was not, because she had risen in much the same way. My aunt was very beautiful. She had a smooth, full forehead and delicate skin. She was the kind of breathtaking beauty with both exquisite features and flawless bone structure. My aunt was 22, fresh out of college, when she married my uncle. My uncle was 15 years older than her and had already had 2 wives before her, but his family was wealthy, with 2 companies to its name. Meanwhile, my grandfather's family had gradually fallen into decline. My grandparents also strongly favored sons over daughters. Nearly all their resources went to their son. As their daughter, my aunt was the classic unwanted child, unloved by either parent. She saw my uncle as her chance to transform her life. So she seized that chance without hesitation. After marrying my uncle, my aunt joined the family company. She began in entry-level sales and steadily worked her way up, step by step. She had a gift for business and knew how to get things done. Within a few years, she had made the group's business bigger than ever. Her personal wealth rose with it. Later, my uncle stepped back from the spotlight and handed the group's operations entirely to my aunt. Through that marriage, my aunt successfully changed her fate and rose into a higher social class. Perhaps because she had her own experience to draw on. She tried to persuade me this way. I did not think about it for long. Before agreeing to my aunt's suggestion, it was only a blind date. Anyway, if I was not interested, I could just go through the motions. Besides, he might not even be interested in me. I sat in the cafe for a while. When no one appeared at the entrance, I went to the restroom. When I came back, I noticed that across from my seat, there was now a wheelchair. A young man sat in it. He had sharply defined brow bones, bold, striking features and thin lips, and was exceptionally handsome. I walked over. Jiayan looked up. His captivating, deep-set eyes swept over me briefly. Then he gave a mocking smile. "Miss Liang, you would actually agree to a blind date with a cripple?" I rubbed my forehead. That is right. I knew this young heir of the Liu family. We had gone to the same school. We had even shared a desk for a time. One summer afternoon, Jiayan, I like you. Naturally, I was brutally rejected, and it happened in front of a crowd of onlookers watching the spectacle. Back then, I had a pretty thick skin. I did not feel embarrassed at all. A man as untouchable as him was never going to be easy to win over. If he had been that easy to chase, he would not have been Jiayan. No one knew better than I did how popular he was with girls. After my confession was rejected, it only fired up my fighting spirit. From then on, I pursued him even more relentlessly. I chased Jiayan for 3 whole years. I asked around about everything he liked, gave him compact discs by artists he liked, baked the cakes he loved, and staged chance meetings at the basketball court he frequented. Even at the cafeteria, I would eagerly sit beside him. Every weekend, I used studying as an excuse to spend half a day at his house, so even the Liu family's old butler and all the housekeepers became very familiar with me. Until one day, a transfer student joined our class. She launched an equally fierce pursuit of Jiayan. Every weekend, she copied me and went to the Liu house, asking Jiayan to tutor her. At the school cafeteria, I sat on Jiayan's left, and she sat on his right. When he played basketball, I brought Jiayan drinks, and she did too. It made me sick. I did not want to stay so passive any longer, so I asked Jiayan which of us he would choose, me or the transfer student. Jiayan looked completely indifferent. "I choose neither of you. Both of you should stay away from me." At that moment, I realized he truly had no feelings for me, and I truly did not want to keep competing with that transfer student like we were in a ring, fighting over him. So, I gave up on Jiayan. After that day, I stopped speaking to him entirely. At school, we became strangers. We did not exchange a single word. Not long after, my father's investments failed. Our family's circumstances became far worse than before. My mother wore a worried frown every day, often grieving in private. She often talked about wanting to separate. A suffocating atmosphere hung over our entire home. I was anxious all day long. My academic performance plummeted. By midterms, I had fallen to the bottom of the class. One day, Jiayan suddenly came to find me. He spoke stiffly. "Qiao Rui and I are just ordinary classmates. There is nothing else between us." Qiao Rui was the transfer student in our class. I was completely confused. "Whatever is going on between you two, what does it have to do with me?" Jiayan froze. His tone turned slightly awkward. "Come to my house this weekend. I will help you catch up on your schoolwork." What a miracle! Jiayan had actually offered to tutor me, but I had no heart for studying. "No, thank you." When I refused, Jiayan's face darkened. He looked at me silently for a long time, then finally turned and left. The days went by, and I only got worse. My quiz scores fell again. My homeroom teacher spoke with me many times, urging me to pull myself together and focus on my studies again, but I could not bring myself to care. Gradually, I realized my parents' conflicts could not be reconciled. They had grown distant from each other. Our once warm home slowly ceased to feel like it once had. I felt utterly helpless, but had no one to confide in. Just then, Jiayan came to find me again. His tone was unusually serious and insistent. "Liang Yinuo, same as before, Saturday morning at 8. Come to my house. We will study together." Jiayan, what exactly do you want? "I do not need your help. Can you please stop bothering me?" His face filled with disbelief. He stared at me blankly. Having been adored by everyone since childhood, he had never been spoken to like that. For a moment, he grew angry too. Just like that, we fell into a cold war. Neither of us would give in first. Then one setback followed another. Our family fell into complete ruin. My father became ill from years of overwork and eventually left us forever. Afterward, my mother started a new family, and I moved in with my aunt. After that, we never saw each other again. Until today, when we ran into each other here. Awkwardly, I rubbed my nose. How about I buy today's coffee? Consider it my apology to you. It was my fault. I mistook kindness for malice and failed to appreciate your good intentions. No need. I don't accept what I haven't earned. I have my pride too. Well then, this blind date is probably a bust. I forced a smile. Have you been well these past years? As you can see. God, my big mouth. I cursed myself inwardly. I am sorry. I did not mean it. Jiayan's eyes remained calm and distant. Maybe we should wrap this up soon. This is pretty awkward. After hesitating for a moment, I messaged a close friend on WeChat, asking them to call me in 20 minutes. The coffee I ordered arrived. Jiayan was not someone who would start a conversation. To avoid an awkward silence, I racked my brains for 2 more topics. 20 minutes later, my friend's call finally came. I felt as if I had been pardoned. After hanging up, sorry, I have something to take care of today. How about we meet another day? Jiayan stared at me intently. You are leaving? The emotion in his eyes was impossible to read. Yes, my friend has something going on. As I started to stand, the coffee cup on the table somehow tipped over. The half cup of coffee still left inside spilled all over the table and onto Jiayan's shirt. I jumped in fright. Are you all right? I had known since our school days that this young master was a serious clean freak. This was going to be a problem. Sure enough, Jiayan's brows drew tightly together. He looked with extreme disgust at the stain on his chest. I need to shower and change. Can you drive me somewhere? I hesitated. How did you get here? Where is Uncle Wang? He had urgent business and left. I did not think much of it then, so I agreed. Jiayan did not return to the family estate. Instead, he had me drive him to a hillside villa in the suburbs. There was no one in the villa, but everything was spotless and orderly. I pushed Jiayan into the first-floor bathroom. Could you get me some clean clothes? Where are they? In the closet in the master bedroom upstairs. I had no choice but to do as he asked. I brought clean clothes down from the upstairs closet. When I returned, Jiayan was undoing his cufflinks, thinking that he was not very mobile. Do you need help? Jiayan paused slightly. He raised an eyebrow. His alluring, almond-shaped eyes shimmered like deep water beneath the lights. Sure. I had only asked casually, but I had not expected him to actually agree. Dazed, I walked over. I held out my hand. Leaning on my arm, Jiayan slowly rose from his wheelchair. He could actually stand. That surprised me. After undoing his cuffs, he moved on to the buttons down his chest. We were standing far too close, and my face grew warm. It was awkward. What was I supposed to do? But I soon had no time to feel awkward, because I realized this young master had a seriously toned chest. His abs were not bad either. I never expected that despite being in a wheelchair every day, he would still have such a good body. I pulled myself together and handed him the bathrobe. I could not find a shirt. I only found the bathrobe. Jiayan's gaze lingered on my face. Only then did I realize that he seemed to have grown much taller. He was far taller than he had been in middle school. At least 6'1". That will do. His cool, clear voice sounded. Then I noticed that he had already taken off his shirt. Broad shoulders, a narrow waist, defined muscles, and a sharp V shape at his hips. I could not imagine how incredible his body had been. Before the accident, I stood outside the door, scrolling on my phone for a while, until the sound of the shower stopped. Honestly, I was worried he might fall. That would be no small matter. Fortunately, nothing went wrong. The door opened. Jiayan was already seated in his wheelchair, dressed in his bathrobe. His face was still dripping wet, with water dripping from the ends of his hair. Could you get me a hairdryer? The noise of the hairdryer nicely concealed the awkwardness between us. Halfway through drying his hair, I noticed Jiayan watching me. What is it? Nothing. When we reached the living room, I saw that it was raining outside. Jiayan took out his phone. I will have Uncle Wang take you home. Did you not say he had something to do and went home? Jiayan paused. His lips pressed together. He should be back soon. Although we had not seen each other in years, Uncle Wang recognized me at once. He greeted me with a cheerful smile. Miss Nuo, You have grown up so much. Seeing an elder I had not met in years made me quite happy too. Uncle Wang, it has been so many years. You have not changed a bit. Not at all. You young people have grown up. So, we have grown old. I exchanged a few pleasantries with Uncle Wang, just as I was about to head to the parking lot with him. Liang Yinuo. What is it? The living room fell silent for a moment. Uncle Wang suddenly caught on. Miss Yinuo, I will wait for you in the car. Jiayan pressed a button, and his wheelchair quickly rolled up before me. I have been doing physical therapy lately. The random remark left me frozen in place. What? You saw it just now. I can already stand on my own. The doctor said, if my therapy goes well, my legs could recover within 2 years. I hope you will give it serious thought. Do not make up your mind so quickly. I still did not understand. Consider what? Jiayan looked up at me. The blind date. Oh, so that was what he meant. At last, I understood. There is nothing to consider. If you are willing, so am I. Jiayan's reaction was several beats too slow. He could hardly believe it. Of course, no regrets. Then it is settled. When I got home that night, my aunt was on the phone. I did not know what the caller said, but her expression was utterly stunned. After hanging up, Nuo, where did you go on your blind date today? Nowhere. We were just at a cafe. The Liu family just called. They asked if the two of you could get engaged before the end of the year. Engaged before the end of the year. Honestly, I had not expected things to move so quickly either. Then again, they marry young, generation after generation. It seemed to be a Liu family tradition. Back in my first year of middle school, I often went to the Liu family estate, so Jiayan could tutor me. The first time I met Mrs. Liu, I finally understood what breathtaking beauty meant. She was incredibly beautiful, just like one of those stunning beauties from a Hong Kong drama from the 1990s, and she looked unbelievably young. For a while, I thought she was Jiayan's sister. Only later did I learn. Mrs. Liu was in her final year of college, and only 21 years old, when she married Jiayan's father. That was when I learned, too, that everyone in the Liu family married young. After hearing that, I was thrilled. Jiayan, in that case, in just 8 years. I can marry you. Surprised. Did you see that coming? Jiayan rolled his eyes at me. Could you possibly be any more shameless? Hubby, I love you. I went right along with it. Thinking back on our childhood, I could not help feeling wistful. Perhaps this was fate. That aloof, unattainable young Master Liu had finally become mine. This young Master Liu, though a car accident last year left both his legs impaired, many who had tried to win favor with the Liu family by marrying into the family had failed. Who would have thought that after your first meeting, the Liu family would suggest an engagement before year-end? That is truly unusual. I felt this needed some explanation. Annie. Jiayan and I were classmates, actually. Her eyes widened. She was completely caught off guard. We were classmates in elementary, then middle school. My aunt considered this for a moment, as if something had clicked. Did young Master Liu used to have a crush on you? I shook my head. He never liked me. I was the one who liked him. I pursued him for years, but he never said yes. Silly girl. My aunt smiled. We chatted for a while. Then my aunt added, since you plan to build your career in Shanghai, should you not resign from your current job? That reminded me. I really did need to find time to quit my job in hiking and give up my old rental. My aunt patted my head and sighed softly. I asked you to come help at the company right after graduation, but you stubborn girl would not listen. Now that you have had your fill of life in hiking, it is time to come back to Shanghai, right? My old way of thinking really was childish. I did not want to owe my aunt too much, so I thought I should make my own way after graduation. Then I met Rong, and I wanted to come back even less. Looking back, I was being ridiculously dramatic. My family was here in Shanghai, so were my closest friends and childhood classmates. Yet I insisted on being stubborn, staying somewhere I knew no one, living in a cramped rental that cost only a few hundred yuan a month, working several jobs to support myself, and that boyfriend who pretended to be poor every day. Serves him right. Oh, well, I had broken up with Rong anyway. There was truly nothing left for me in hiking, so I moved back. It took me only half a day to pack up most of my things from the rental. Then I ended my lease with the landlady. Before leaving hiking, I met two close friends for dinner. While we waited outside the restaurant for a table, A man walked past me and abruptly stopped. Liang Yinuo. I stared at him blankly for a moment, then suddenly remembered. He was one of the men from that private room that day. He was probably one of Rongzi's childhood friends too. Do you not remember me? I was Rongzi's roommate. We met at hiking university. When he said that, I vaguely remembered him. Rongzi. During our senior year, I went to his school to see him once. This man seemed to have been there. I forced a polite smile. Hello. Are you waiting for Rongzi here? It seems he resigned. Only then did I remember that the building across the street was the company Rongzi used to work for. Want me to give him a call? What kind of man hides from his girlfriend all day? This man probably knew Rongzi had broken up with me and was waiting to watch the drama. I was speechless, but also amused. After thinking it over, I decided to play along. Really? No wonder I have been waiting for him here for days, without seeing him. Inside the private room, it was noisy. A group of bored men played cards or talked business. Only Rongzi sat on the couch, taking part in none of it. Every so often, he glanced at his phone. Rongzi, why have you seemed so distracted these past few days? Do not tell me you have fallen for that girl. Someone nearby overheard them. Fallen for which girl? Who else could it be? Liang Yinuo, of course. Young Master Rong really has been acting strange lately. He stares at that phone all day long. He is practically turning into Wazeli. Can you stop being so ridiculous? If he is Wazeli, then I am Dao Mingxi. If you ask me, young Master Rong is heartless. If it were me, I could never bear to break up with Liang Yinuo. That girl is such a knockout. She has fair skin too, and legs for days. Best of all, she is utterly devoted to her boyfriend. She would rather work 3 jobs a day, just to buy her boyfriend watches and gaming gear. Where could you find a girlfriend like that? What good is that? Even if she worked 10 jobs a day, she would never be accepted by the Rong family. That girl has some backbone. She did not even make a scene when you broke up. Rongzi, your charm must be slipping. She is playing at a much higher level. She has turned the tables, deliberately giving you the cold shoulder. Until you men take the bait. Anyu scoffed coldly. She sounded utterly confident. She is just waiting for the man to give in first. Once he stops paying attention to her, she will come crawling back at once. Just watch. No way. What kind of person do you take Liang Yinuo for? Exactly. Rongzi was inexplicably irritated, and these people would not stop chattering, buzzing around him like flies. Will you shut up already? No one will think you are mute if you keep quiet. Young Master Rong is in a foul mood today. Best not provoke him. Then his phone began to buzz. Zhou Jinyu's name appeared on the screen. Rongzi felt an inexplicable disappointment. After answering the call, he asked impatiently, "What is it?" Young Master Rong, did you not tell Liang Yinuo you resigned? That girl has been waiting outside your company for days. Those words were like an icy gust, making Rongzi shudder from head to toe. He instantly sat upright. You mean Liang Yinuo? What did I just say? You believe it now, right? Rongzi, if you go today, you'll spend the rest of your life as Liang Yinuo's personal ATM. She will have you wrapped around her finger, and you will never break free. Jiang Anyu's words struck like muffled thunder, stunning him where he sat. Rongzi sat on the couch, in silence for a long while. Finally, he hardened his heart, and said coldly, Zhou Jinyu, it is completely over between her and me. Tell her not to look for me again. I will not see her again. The man ended the call, and looked at me with some guilt. I am sorry. That guy is pretty heartless. Diners who had just finished their meals came out of the restaurant. It should be my turn soon. Since I had taken the act this far, I might as well see it through. I wiped away tears that were not there, and sniffed. Then I put on a look of utter heartbreak. Fine. Please tell Rongzi, I will never look for him again. His gaze deepened. As he looked at me, he seemed to want to say something, but held it back. Miss Liang, why do we not add each other on WeChat? If there is anything I can help with, you can come to me. No need. No. I never wanted to see Rongzi again, and I did not want to see his friends either. After returning to Shanghai, Jiayan and I began dating with marriage in mind. That was probably the benefit of a blind date. Both sides knew exactly what they wanted, with no hesitation or wasted time. After so many years, I saw Mrs. Liu again. She had somehow grown even more breathtakingly beautiful. So the woman on a blind date with our Ian is you, Xiaonuo. I was wondering, why that boy suddenly came to his senses and brought up marriage himself. Being so close to such a stunning beauty made my heart pound wildly. I never imagined this day would come. That simply standing too close to my future mother-in-law would make my heart race. Auntie Lu. It has been so long. It has been years. Xiaonuo has grown up. What a beauty. I felt a little sheepish. There probably were not many women who would dare call themselves beautiful in front of her. Have you seen the house at Blue Moon Bay? How would you like it as your marital home? If you do not like the English style, I will hire a crew to renovate it. I had known for a long time that the land at Blue Moon Bay had been bought at auction by Lu Jiayan's grandfather years ago, specifically to build his grandson a marital home. It was not far from the Lu family estate. So, after talking with Annie Lu, I drove Lu Jiayan straight to Blue Moon Bay. The house was even larger than I had imagined. It had a classic European style, surrounded by woods, a lake, a horse ranch, and an orchard. I fell in love with it at first sight. Living here would be incredible. I eagerly asked Lu Jiayan, "Can I move in right away?" He looked up, watching me in surprise. His normally calm eyes rippled at my words, and even his voice was full of tenderness. "Of course you can. That is wonderful." Early the next morning, I moved in. Then, Lu Jiayan moved in too. We were probably the most efficient blind date pair anyone had ever seen. We had only known each other for 2 weeks, yet we were already trying out married life. My life settled into a rhythm. Every morning, I accompanied Lu Jiayan to work at Lu International. In the afternoons, I accompanied him to the hospital for rehabilitation. Lu Jiayan's rehabilitation went smoothly. At first, he could barely stand, but now he could walk on his own for 6 to 10 feet. If nothing went wrong before our wedding, he should be able to leave his wheelchair behind. After we moved in together, I gradually realized that the Lu Jiayan of today was very different from the Lu Jiayan I knew as a child. They were worlds apart. As a child, he had been aloof and cold. Whenever I forced him into conversation against his will, he would simply cast me aside and ignore me. But the grown-up Lu Jiayan was far more approachable. No matter how much I talked, he never showed me the slightest trace of impatience. Sometimes, when I fell silent, he was the one who felt unaccustomed to it. He would even start a conversation himself. Even when I teased him, he no longer acted as he had in childhood, giving me an annoyed, speechless eye roll. One day after we returned from rehabilitation, he was sweating heavily. So I joked with Lu Jiayan, "How about I come in and help you shower?" Young Master Lu answered without even blushing, "Sure." His calm, straightforward response made even a seasoned flirt like me blush furiously. In the end, I fled in embarrassment. How could someone change so much? It was truly strange. In the past, Lu Jiayan would definitely have mocked me. You could be even more shameless. When Mrs. Lu learned that Lu Jiayan and I had both moved into Blue Moon Bay, Mrs. Lu planned to assign several live-in housekeepers to us to take care of our daily needs. But Lu Jiayan refused. "We can manage on our own." Early the next morning, I had just come downstairs when I saw Lu Jiayan making breakfast in the kitchen. The sight startled me. Who would have thought this pampered young master would one day cook for himself? It truly was a miracle. Young Master Lu had made sandwiches and fried eggs, but when I saw him deliberately keeping one hand hidden at his side, I realized something was wrong. Without a word, I grabbed his wrist. Sure enough, a large patch on the back of his hand was red from a burn. My heart clenched. I hurriedly pulled Lu Jiayan to the sink and rinsed the burn. "When did you learn to make this? Let us have a housekeeper cook from tomorrow on." "No need. I will get the hang of it after a few tries." I was puzzled. Why would he not let the housekeepers move in? Lu Jiayan fell silent for a moment. Then he said firmly, "I only want to live with you." Seeing young Master Lu so stubborn and resolute was quite a novelty. Even someone as aloof and proud as Lu Jiayan would one day have to win back the woman he had once pushed away. My mood instantly soared. "Lu Jiayan, when did you start liking me?" His breathing hitched. He lowered his gaze slightly, his voice thick with sorrow. "I do not know, but a long time ago, I went to your house looking for you. Your neighbors said relatives had taken you away. I am sorry. I did not know then that so much had happened to your family. If I had realized sooner, or simply asked you, maybe things would not have turned out this way. My family ending up like that was no one's fault. Do not be silly. It had nothing to do with you." I cut Lu Jiayan off and gently stroked his face. That sudden intimate gesture left us both frozen. Jiayan looked at me, his expression unreadable. His dark, deep eyes were like a clear spring. He took my hand and gently kissed it against his lips. A charged intimacy filled the air. As if bewitched, I leaned closer and kissed his lips. Jiayan wrapped an arm around my waist. We began to kiss. How could I describe that feeling? After life had taken you in circles, you met again the one from your youth. That gorgeous boy who had been your youthful ideal. And he looked at you with such devotion and said, he had fallen for you long ago, and had waited for you all these years. Who could possibly resist that? I certainly could not. That night, he and I stayed up all night, talking heart to heart in our room. Young Master Lu seemed a little restrained, faced with this kind of closeness. He did not quite know what to do, since his legs were still not very mobile. I took the initiative to slow things down. I was finally living the life I had dreamed of as a girl. At night, I could flirt intimately with Jiayan, often teasing him until his eyes turned red, glistening with tears. This gentle, adorable, sweet-natured young Master Lu was impossible not to adore. We had only been together a short time, yet I had already grown addicted to his warm companionship. Unfortunately, some calls always came at the worst possible time, especially calls from an ex-boyfriend. So, what was I supposed to do? Naturally, I hung up on him without mercy. Sorry, the number you have dialed is switched off. A string of English followed. Rongzi frowned slightly. After thinking it over, he opened WeChat anyway. The next second, another message popped up in the chat window. You are not yet her contact. He stared at those 2 lines, then laughed in anger. After all the trouble he took to find an excuse today, to visit the apartment they had rented together, Liang Yinuo had certainly given him one hell of a surprise. Fine, just try leaving me blocked forever. Rongzi viciously slammed on the gas. The sports car roared through the alley in the dead of night and sped away. When his mother again brought up a marriage alliance with the Gu family, Rongzi remembered Liang Yinuo blocking and deleting him. His chest felt clogged with something. It was not as if either of them could not live without the other. After that, his blind date with Gu Xinrou went smoothly. The Gu family was an old established elite family in Hechang. Their families had known each other for generations, though they had grown distant in recent years. Gu Xinrou was gentle and lovely, with a well-proportioned figure. Her voice was soft and sweet, the quintessential sweet girl. That day, he went shopping with Gu Xinrou. Gu Xinrou took a liking to a bracelet, and he paid for it without a second thought. After paying, he suddenly realized that in nearly 2 years with Liang Yinuo, he had never seemed to buy her a single gift. He had played the poor man in front of her, far too convincingly. As a result, Liang Yinuo would not let him buy her anything, and even kept track of every cent he spent. Many times, Rongzi wanted to spoil his girlfriend with money. He wanted to buy Liang Yinuo handbags, necklaces, and clothes, and take her traveling abroad. He wanted to buy a spacious apartment, so they could live more comfortably. He wanted to replace the air conditioner, so summer nights in their rental would not be so hot. But he could not do any of it, because then, Liang Yinuo would surely ask where his money came from. He could not explain it, and it would inevitably make her suspicious. So he had to let it go. When they had first met, Rongzi was a college sophomore, while Liang Yinuo was a junior, working part-time at a cafe. The first time he saw her, her charming, playful smile was so sweet it nearly melted him. His mind buzzed with only one thought. He had to get to know her. There happened to be a hiring notice outside the cafe. So, Rongzi went into interview without thinking twice. The interview went smoothly. Not long after he started, Rongzi discovered that the cafe manager was also pursuing Liang Yinuo. Men were always quick to spot a rival. Once the manager realized Rongzi's intentions, he began targeting him. But Rongzi gradually noticed that whenever the manager gave him trouble, Liang Yinuo would always take his side. Maybe women simply tended to side with the underdog. Rongzi gradually used that to win Liang Yinuo's sympathy. The manager was furious, but the more he targeted Rongzi, the closer Liang Yinuo grew to him instead. And so, with the manager's unwitting help, Rongzi successfully won over his goddess. But because of that, Liang Yinuo had always believed he was a genuine poor boy. Once he told the first lie, he truly needed countless more lies to keep it going. Liang Yinuo's frugality was taken to the absolute extreme. She calculated every penny she spent. Rent, water, electricity. She pinched pennies over every expense. wanting every yuan to stretch 5 times as far. When she learned he had found a good internship, Liang Yinuo finally splurged for once. Big companies care greatly about personal image. He could not dress too shabbily, or let his co-workers dismiss or look down on him. Originally, even the things Liang Yinuo had carefully picked out might not have been to Rongzi's taste. But once he thought of Liang Yinuo buying them, Rongzi felt they were not so bad after all. Rongzi's thoughts drifted away. It was not until Xinrou called to him that he barely came back to himself. For some reason, he suddenly wanted to find Liang Yinuo and confess everything. He should introduce Liang Yinuo to his mother. His mother would like her. Or maybe not. Liang Yinuo was beautiful and kind-hearted. But, even if his mother agreed, what about his father? Sigh. There were obstacles at every turn. On Friday, Xinrou visited the Rong family. She happened to hear Madame Rong say that she liked lychees. Annie, do you like lychees? Let us go pick lychees in Hushi this weekend. My cousin's orchard has an enormous lychee harvest this year. There are far too many to pick. The moment Madame Rong heard that, without waiting for her son to speak, she immediately agreed on his behalf. Rongzi was speechless. He knew both families were doing their utmost to arrange his marriage to Xinrou. But honestly, he had not decided at all whether he himself wanted to keep seeing Xinrou. After all, he had only just broken up with Liang Yinuo. He had no desire to think about marriage right now. He even instinctively resisted being with Xinrou alone. Just then, Chen Yanzhou called him. Rongzi, what are your plans this weekend? I heard you are going to Shanghai. Mind if I tag along? Rongzi thought it over. I have some friends who want to come too. Is that all right? Sure, bring them along. The more, the merrier. The group had thought. Xinrou's cousin lived in the countryside, with a hillside of lychee trees. We should be there soon, right? It must be one of those lychee hills behind a village. But when their cars entered Hushi city center, passed through to heavily guarded checkpoints, and arrived at a private estate, then passed a golf course and a natural lake, the group finally realized they had gotten it completely wrong. At last, the cars stopped before a building resembling an English castle. This was the renowned Lanyue. They were supposed to greet the host first. My cousin and his fiancée are not home right now. Let us head straight to the back hill. As they passed an equestrian center, Sister-in-law, does your cousin have a younger sister? I would gladly marry into the family. Zhou Jinyu joked. You are always dreaming of the good life, huh? Are you out of your mind? You lot, what are you calling me? Who is your sister-in-law? Has Rongzi admitted that you are his girlfriend? Everyone knew how she felt about Rongzi, but no one said a word. Halfway through picking lychees, Xinrou received a call. It seemed her cousin had returned. Out of courtesy, the group felt it would be best to greet the host first, so they headed back. The moment they reached the lakeside, they spotted a black sport utility vehicle. Once it came to a stop, the driver opened the rear door. The group was mildly surprised. The man in the wheelchair looked very young. He was about the same age as them. No one knew what had happened to leave him with limited mobility. A woman in a long dress stepped out of the backseat. Her hair was tousled by the wind. She went to push his wheelchair. After pushing him some distance, she stopped again. The man took her hand. She crouched down. No one knew what she said to him, but she was clearly acting spoiled. Then, the two began to kiss. It was an incredibly sweet scene. Caught completely off guard, the group was treated to an overwhelming display of affection. My cousin and his fiancée are getting engaged. They are sickeningly sweet every day. You will get used to it. Once the young couple finally finished kissing, the group finally dared to approach. Xinrou began introducing both sides. The woman across from them tucked her hair behind her ear, revealing a tiny, delicate face. Her features were exquisite, her brows and eyes picture perfect. Except, Rongzi had been calm only a moment ago, but his face suddenly drained of color when he saw her face. He stared fixedly at the woman across from him, his face as cold as ice. Chen Yanzhou and Zhou Jinyu beside him looked utterly horrified, their stunned expressions, as though they had seen a ghost. When I saw Rongzi, I was a little stunned too. What was going on? Why was he here? My cousin, Jiayan, his fiancée, Liang Yinuo. This is Rongzi, and a few of his closest friends. Only then did I realize that Rongzi was Xinrou's arranged match. What an unbelievable coincidence. Talk about rotten luck. Hello, everyone. You have come a long way, driving here from downtown. is no short trip. Hello, Mr. Liu. My name is Lanyue. I am Xinrou's friend. Hello, Mr. Liu. My name is Zhou Jingyu. I am Rongzi's friend. Only Rongzi remained rooted to the spot, staring at me with unblinking intensity. After the greetings, "Are you getting too much, son? Shall we go inside?" All right. This situation was an emotional minefield for me too. I truly had no idea how to handle it right then. I could only make my escape first, pushing Lu Jiayan into the living room. Are his eyes really that sharp? There was probably no hiding it. I could only force myself to admit it. My ex-boyfriend. Lu Jiayan nodded. He did not look surprised. Are you angry? I am sorry. I did not know he would be here either. Lu Jiayan sighed, taking my hand. His tone was helpless. I am not that petty. I was just afraid you would mind. Me. Mind what? Because I am in a wheelchair. I leaned closer and covered Lu Jiayan's mouth. We were very close. Close enough to hear each other's breathing. What are you thinking? You are my one true love. No one can ever take your place in my heart. His lips parted slightly, sending a tickle across my palm. Yes. Don't you know? Lu Jiayan chuckled softly, his eyes curved with a smile. But you are my one true love, the one I've yearned for all these years. My irreplaceable one true love. You certainly know how to sweet-talk me. Tonight, I will reward you with 100 candies. Lu Jiayan considered it seriously for a moment. That is too many. Would for do? Deal. I knew Rongzi would come looking for an argument, but I did not expect him to be so bold. While no one was paying attention, he came straight upstairs to corner me. His eyes were dark and stormy. Liang Yinuo, don't you think you owe me an explanation? I found that almost funny. Explain what? We broke up 2 months ago. We only broke up 2 months ago. Do not worry. I have only been with my boyfriend for a month and a half. I never did anything to betray you. Rongzi practically ground his teeth. Should I congratulate you two for jumping into a new relationship so quickly? How is that rushed? There was a 2-week gap in between, wasn't there? Were you really so eager to choose him? Have you seriously considered the realities of being together in the future? I had hoped we could part on good terms. There was no need to turn ugly. But he was being so insulting. That is none of your concern. We are very compatible. Rongzi's pupils constricted sharply. His face went deathly pale. He was silent for a long time. Then he asked me, utterly devastated, "Have you two already gone that far?" That is none of your business. Do not forget, we have already broken up, and my boyfriend and I will be getting engaged soon. This is the last time I will speak with you alone. I hope you understand and know when to stop. Downstairs, the group recalled what had just happened. Every one of them was full of sighs. Liang Yinuo is seriously impressive. She had barely broken up with Rongzi before latching onto the heir to the Lu group. How does that saying go? Never underestimate a pretty girl. Who knows what kind of man she might meet tomorrow? That really is true. That takes skill, though. Everyone said Liang Yinuo was shrewd and clear-headed, that she only wanted a peaceful life and never wanted hardship. Zhou Jingyu glanced at the speaker. When Liang Yinuo was with Rongzi, she never once sought an easy life. She was not someone who craved comfort. She always lived frugally, working tirelessly, spending every cent she earned on him. She gave herself to him wholeheartedly. Who knew what Rongzi had done to deserve such a sincere, pure-hearted girl? When Zhou Jingyu met Liang Yinuo that day, he had thoughts about pursuing her too. After all, she and Rongzi had already broken up. It would not count as going after a buddy's ex. If he could win Liang Yinuo over, then even if Rongzi was unhappy about it, he would accept that. Putting everything else aside, Liang Yinuo was exactly his type. She had bright eyes and pearly white teeth. Her skin was porcelain white. Even without makeup, she outshone countless actresses. Her figure was gorgeous too. Any fuller, she'd be a plump. Any slimmer, she'd look gone. He truly could not understand Rongzi's thinking. With a partner so gentle and wholehearted, yet he still clung to a marriage of convenience. It made no sense. It was just a pity that Liang Yinuo had long since left him no opening. Zhou Jingyu had thought there was plenty of time, so he could take it slow. But that girl was taken so quickly. What is she so smug about? Is she not always relying on others for help? Someone gave a quiet cough, trying to warn her. Always trying to rely on others to get ahead. It seems Miss Jiang has quite a prejudice against me. Anyu had not expected me to overhear her. Her eyes froze for a moment, then she lifted her chin. Her expression said, "What can you do about it? I only spoke the truth." This is the second time I have heard her make inappropriate remarks about me. I will not let it slide. Miss Jiang, woman to woman. Your words are so cutting. You have truly crossed a line. She was stunned for a moment, never expecting me to talk back. What did you say? Or is there someone else you have always carried in your heart? You have always had someone you wanted, but you never got what you wished for. If you have settled your past entanglements, then follow your heart, and be brave enough to move forward. Do not let your chance slip away. What gives you the right to treat me this way? I have no special status. It is simply that the place you are standing in, Blue Moon Bay, belongs to me. As the owner here, I do not welcome you as a guest. Please leave at once. Blue Moon Bay. What kind of joke is this? This is clearly the Liu family's home. Are you referring to my fiancé, Liu Jiayan? He transferred Blue Moon Bay to me as my betrothal gift. I will say it again. As the owner of this house, you are absolutely not welcome here. You have 3 minutes to leave. The group returned to hiking. These pampered rich kids had never been so humiliated. They had been thrown out right to their faces. Still, none were more humiliated than Zhang Anyu and Rong. One had been cursed out to her face, while the other was publicly humiliated by his ex-girlfriend again and again. As they were leaving, Yanzhou could not bear to watch any longer. He tried to comfort him. Look on the bright side. After all, you and Liang Yinuo have broken up too. Rong said nothing, seeing the dark look on his face. Like a storm was about to break. Yanzhou did not dare continue. Anyone with eyes could see it. Young Master Rong had probably regretted it. In truth, Rong did regret it. He had never doubted that Liang Yinuo loved him, and loved him desperately. Since he had been the one to end things, he had felt guilty for the whole months. And during those 2 months, he came to understand his own heart. Rong knew very well that he liked Liang Yinuo, nor could he accept a marriage alliance with the Gu family. Just as he was secretly wondering how to convince his parents to accept Liang Yinuo, he saw the girlfriend who had nestled against him just 2 months ago, the woman who had once been inseparable from him, kissing another man with complete abandon. The sight was like a bolt of lightning, shattering his senses. Once he saw her face clearly, Rong even deluded himself into believing that this could not possibly be his girlfriend, but Liang Yinuo's twin sister. That was it. Liang Yinuo had to have a twin sister. But, in the end, that fantasy was shattered. Seeing how awful Rong looked, Yanzhou said, all right, everyone, go on home. Head back to your own places. 2 days later, Rong met with Gu Xinrou to discuss ending their family's engagement. Do you know my cousin's fiancé? He must have been a complete mess that day. If even Gu Xinrou had noticed. Rong hesitated for a moment, then came clean. Yinuo is my ex-girlfriend. Gu Xinrou covered her mouth in shock. There was not the slightest sadness over the broken engagement on her face, only a blazing hunger for gossip. How long have you been broken up? 2 months. My cousin is desperately trying to win back the woman he lost to. But his chances are far better than yours. What do you mean? Liang Yinuo was my cousin Liu Jiayan's classmate in both elementary and middle school. Back in school, she pursued my cousin for a long time, but he never agreed to date her. Then something happened to the Liang family, and she was adopted by relatives and transferred schools. My cousin searched for her for years, and only heard from her again recently. The moment they finished their blind date, they set a date for their engagement. Think about it. My cousin searched for Yinuo for nearly 10 years. How could he possibly let her go so easily? That is why I said, your chances of winning Liang Yinuo back are very slim. Almost zero. No. She loves me. For nearly 2 years. No matter what. I will not give up on Liang Yinuo. What do you plan to do? I bet it would be hard for you to even see my cousin's fiancé now. That is true. On WeChat and every social platform, she has blocked me. She even changed her phone number. How about I help you? How would you help me? I will arrange for her to meet you. Why would you help me? Gu Xinrou blinked. What could she say? She was simply dying for gossip. 2 men desperately trying to win back the woman they lost? This was far more thrilling than any web novel. Besides, Since you intend to end the engagement, our families cannot become relatives. So, we can only be business partners. With such a small favor, I can make young Master Rong owe me one. Why would I not do it? Besides, Xinrou believed Liang Yinuo would never choose Rong Zi. That was why she was willing to help him out. That night, Xinrou messaged me, asking me to go shopping with her the next day. After thinking it over, I agreed. Who was that? Xinrou. She asked me to go to the mall with her tomorrow. I will come with you. There is no need. It is just a women going shopping. Jiayan said nothing more. After quite a while, I finally realized something was wrong. Why not? Why will you not let me come with you? Because I am buying lingerie. With a grown man standing beside me, I would be embarrassed. I can help you choose. Then there will be no surprise when I wear it later. You will have already seen it. That is very important to me. Do not shop for too long. All right, I will call you. Do not get annoyed. Of course not. Ignore any man who tries to flirt with you. Fine. You are not allowed to see your ex-boyfriend. And do not answer his calls either. If you go back to him, I will have a hard time accepting it. But, in the end, I still could not keep that promise. Because I had no idea where Rong Zi had come from. Cousin-in-law. He begged me to arrange a meeting between you two. I think you should make things clear to him. It is best to make him give up for good. Xinrou whispered in my ear. So this girl was behind it. I was completely speechless. You to talk. I will be back in a bit. Yinuo. I frowned. I had no patience left for him. I made myself very clear last time. I do not want us to meet alone again. I know. But I cannot do it. Can you forgive me? Let us pretend nothing happened these past 2 months. Please. Sometimes, I really think men are so childish. Pretend nothing happened. Is that even possible? Forgive you? Which thing do you mean? Rong Zi froze. A flicker of regret crossed his face. Everything. I should not have lied to you. My father was not in the hospital. And I was not as poor as you thought. How modest of you. I know. Someone set to marry Xinrou. How could he possibly be poor? Fine. I forgive you. Let us leave it at that. Yinuo. Can you come somewhere with me? I am begging you. If I go with you, will you stop bothering me forever afterward? If you still have not changed your mind by then. I promise I will. When I saw the words, Rong I finally realized where Rong Zi had brought me. What a surprise. Rong Zi got out of the car. He opened the passenger door for me. I am sorry, Yinuo. I lied to you before. I am actually from hiking. This is my home. Today, I will tell my parents the truth. You are my girlfriend. We have been together for nearly 2 years. I will not marry Xinrou, because you are the one I have always loved. Take me home. Yinuo, please. Will you get out with me? He had truly left me speechless. I leaned back in my seat, my arms folded across my chest. Tell me, why should I choose you? Would you be willing to give Rong Yuan to me too? There is something I now believe to be true. A person's true feelings are often revealed by what they are willing to give. I was with you for nearly 2 years, yet I never spent a cent of your money. I even gave so much of my own accord. It seems you never gave me much of your heart either. When I asked you to return to Hechiang with me before, I wanted to introduce you to my aunt. You are smart. You knew I was taking you back to meet my family. So, you refused. You wanted to break up. All right, I agreed. But now you want to get back together. We are adults. Do you think this is just playing house? With every word I said, Rongzi's face darkened further. I just had not thought it through before. You should not dismiss everything we had over this. Yinuo, I am willing to do everything I can to make it up to you. No need. The best way you can make it up to me now is to stay away from me. Stop disrupting my boyfriend's life and mine. Never. I cannot do that. That day, in the private room, I heard everything. He did not understand at first. What private room? The private room at the 01 Club. I was there that day, too. Because you did not want to return to Hechiang with me. You had your closest friends help you find an excuse to break up with me. You even said, only your own wife could bear your children. No one else ever could. Including me. I will not choose someone who, when others criticize me, can only stand by and watch coldly. When Anyu mocked me, I thought you would step forward and defend me. But you never said a word. From that moment on, we were completely over. There will never be another chance for us. Rongzi looked at me, his face ashen. I thought he would not bother me again. By the time we got married, Jiayan had nearly recovered from his leg injury. He no longer needed a wheelchair at all. We did not hold an engagement ceremony. We went straight to getting married. Mom finally stopped nagging, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Yinuo, someone sent you this wedding gift. I set it aside, without even wanting to open it. Not long after, I received a text on my phone. It was followed by another message. I am sorry. Congratulations on your marriage. Still stunned, I opened the box. Inside was a diamond necklace. It looked familiar. Then I quickly remembered. A year ago, while Rongzi and I were shopping, we had seen this expensive necklace at a jewelry counter. He said he would buy it for me then. I thought he was just fantasizing. After we broke up, I had once held some resentment and hatred toward Rongzi, but the moment I saw that necklace, even that small trace of bitterness vanished. To me, he had become an exceptionally generous and responsible ex-boyfriend. The wedding finally began. Looking at the strikingly handsome Jiayan across from me, warmth flooded my heart. All right, a new chapter of my life is about to begin.